Now, TL, you mentioned TL as well. So, as you know, we are at this point coordinating the specific schedules with our global publisher, which is Amazon Games. And as you know, and as was announced or as was mentioned, basically our target is to release it in the second half of the year. So to answer your question, as you know, we divide up our areas into Area 1 and 2, and in Area 2, Amazon Games is our global publisher, and they're at this point making preparations for a separate global test, and related information will soon be announced. So NCSoft, together with Amazon Games, are going to engage in very active marketing activities, including global test as well as global showcase, and the relevant schedules will be opened sequentially. We are at this point coordinating the timing and the schedule in consideration for the competitive backdrop, and I think that by saying that, I will be able to answer the question that you've raised. In Korea, gamers tend to prefer pay-to-win mode, whereas overseas, Western players tend to not like pay-to-win. And there will be differences in terms of the servicing approach for both domestic versus global. So with respect to the release of the title, the update of the content and monetization business model, will all of this differ by different area, or will there be one and the same? And going forward, do you think that there will also be a possibility whereby you would integrate the servers? We are at this point planning on a closed beta test to last from May 24th to the 30th, and we will be conducting the CBT against expanded 10,000 users. During this 1 week period, we will be providing all of the available contents that the gamers can actually play, which will be on par with a full-fledged service level. And the reason why I tell you that, I will explain. Now, if you look at our previous global launches, the BEMs, even if they are the same for Korea and the Western world, we were able to drive same level of revenue. And this time, the reason why we're conducting this test at this scale is that we will be providing the users with the in-game currencies, and they will actually be able to experience direct purchases of the in-game merchandises. And by doing that, we will be able to check on the feasibility of the game business model, and based on the feedback that we receive from the users, we will be able to maximize and scale up the level of completeness of this game title. And in so doing, we will also be able to secure an avid fandom of TL and also really activate the user community. So just to provide a direct answer to the question that you raised, Mr. Park, basically our servicing approach and stance will be the same and identical across all of our global areas. And due to the characteristics of the global market, we have adopted a more universal monetization strategy. And looking at comparing basically the revenue curve that we will see, unlike the other mobile games where the revenue curve is very much focused, the curve is very much focus on the front part in terms of the amount of growth. Through this approach, we will be able to see a much more evened out, long-term, stable revenue curve. So in terms of the very specific product sales related aspects, after we open this through the CBT, we will be receiving feedback and will consider and reflect that in the game to follow.